This is Lumley Castle, a Grade 1 listed building in the north of England, one of the most picturesque and historical buildings in Britain. It is soaked in history and atmosphere. To get a greater understanding of how Lumley Castle got its reputation, we spoke with its employees and guests about the castle's past.
It was originally a manor house before it became a castle. And it was a castle, I think, in the 13th century, 1389. From there, obviously, it was in the Earl of Scarborough's family, and it still is. It's still owned by him. Before it became a hotel, it was actually used by Northumbria University as student accommodation. So you have a lot of guests that come back and obviously say, oh, we used to stay here, this is our dorm room, this is our halls and bits and pieces like that. And then from there, I think it was in the 70s, it became used as more of a medieval banquet hall, which it still is. And then it became a hotel in the mid-70s and has been same owners ever since.
Lord Lumley lost his title because he supported the Bonnie Prince Charlie in this part of the war that went on for the crown. And that's why it's now in the hands of the Earl of Scarborough. It was passed on to his family a couple of hundred years later by the king at the time. I don't know which king it is.
But Lumley Castle is not just a luxury hotel. Its towering walls are also famously haunted. So much so that many famous guests have checked out early to avoid Lumley's resident ghost, Lady Lumley.
Lily of Lumley, how that all began was basically during the Tudors, obviously Reformation of England, with the religious point of view, which was obviously Protestants and Catholics. Lord Lumley was a Protestant, and the two monks, obviously, well, it was more Catholics around here. He went away on business down to London because he was an earl. And then when he was away, two monks, Catholic monks, wanted to bring Lily back to the fold. After that, obviously after he was away, obviously she wouldn't go back to being a Catholic, so basically they beheaded her, chucked her down the stairs, and then threw her body down a well. From then, they went down to the village and basically brought up a sick, dying girl and put her in a bed, and obviously tried to put it off that it was her, that Lily had actually died of natural causes. But obviously, with putting Lily down a well, chopping her head off, that's who wanders the corridors.
Lady Lumley's widespread fame is a curious thing, as we saw no supernatural activity in our time there, but perhaps it's just a matter of time spent at Lumley.
A lot of people I asked said no, they hadn't seen it. I tried asking the night staff and who's hooey during the night because it's their job, but they said they hadn't seen it either. Some people say if strange things have happened, like things have moved or they've seen something then turned and there's nothing there.
Unfortunately not. I mean, a lot of staff have said they've seen orbs, they've seen things, they've heard noises, they've heard creaking, they've heard kids' voices, they've seen figures of people walking down the corridors and they've turned around, there's no one there. And obviously from the guests as well and checking out, obviously mentioning just about what their experiences and what they've seen as well around the building.
By now, we were losing hope of finding someone with any paranormal visions, and then we found someone with some interesting stories. This is Vivian, a regular visitor at Lumley Castle and one of the most ardent supporters of the existence of supernatural activities at Lumley.
I didn't know it was haunted at that time, before when the first experience was. And they say that orbs are the ghosts that move around. And we've got lots of pictures where there's no explanation of where these discs are on the pictures, because they haven't been taken by one camera. They've been taken by professional photographers, our guests, our own cameras. And everywhere, there's just loads of them. So there's obviously a long history for the years it's been here. And Lily of Lumley, when you go through the castle on a night when everybody's asleep, it can be quite daunting. And sometimes you hear children in one of the corridors as well.
These orbs are a frequent sight among Lumley staff, along with activities like children crying, objects moving and unexplained noises. However, these stories are all second or third hand, and we found few people with actual experiences.
This is actually things that people are adamant have seen: silhouettes, shadows, orbs, and they're really convinced that there is ghosts, and they have seen stuff before.
Had several, mainly there's one room, I can't remember the number, I won't stay in because you just don't get any sleep. And a very famous footballer came to one of our events one night, and him and his wife sat on the end of the bed all night because they were so scared to go to sleep. Every time they lay down, they felt somebody took at the sheets or whatever, so they stayed up all night and waited till the sun came up.
I would say if you're a guest or basically a new member of staff, then yes, it can be very convincing, especially night time when we dim all the lights, it's candle lit. Obviously you've got to think it's pitch black outside, some of the rooms are in darkness, and you're walking around in dark rooms. The atmosphere, it's spot on. I mean, it's like you might hear things, you might see things, but even in well-lit areas people are still convinced they've seen stuff. And especially what Viv was saying about photographs and other bits and bobs like that.
The truth may still be out there, but we could not find it. Perhaps the darkness brings out Lumley's supernatural side.